This is ABC 24 Weather Impact Now. Hey there, friends. Thank you for joining us on ABC 24 Weather Impact Now. I'm Chief Meteorologist Trevor Birchett, joined by meteorologist Kit Thomas and meteorologist Daniel McDonald as we embark on week 2 of the brand new show that is all about local weather. There's nothing else like it anywhere in Memphis, so we are so excited to have you here. You can catch us here every weekday at 6:30 for 30 whole minutes as we take a deep dive into the local forecast, plus show you a little bit of cool stuff that we found from other parts of the country and even around the world. A lot to talk about here locally, though, so let's get right over to it. And I want to give you a heads up to some storms that are coming in on Wednesday. I know we had some storms today, but I want to look ahead to what's coming for Wednesday. That is our next severe weather threat. We have a weather impact alert. It looks like Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening. That's going to be our next batch of heavy rain and some thunderstorms, much like what we saw on Saturday. I think it's a very similar setup where we get that line of storms that pushes through. Most of us see heavy rain, some thunder and lightning. It's going to disrupt your plans, but a couple of us could also see some high wind gusts on Wednesday. So make sure you secure anything loose that might blow around. And also keep an eye on the forecast. These severe weather situations can be finicky, so they can, of course, change one way or the other. Again, today's severe weather is all done, but as we look into the overnight hours into tomorrow, there could be a few isolated showers. I do not expect much rain on Tuesday, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a quick shower somewhere. Rain chances really come up on Wednesday as that next front comes in. And then we go back to some dry weather Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It does look like another batch of maybe a little bit of rain as we go into Sunday. That's going to be as another cold front rolls on in. So I want to look at Wednesday's forecast because we have that weather impact alert. We'll kind of time things out hour by hour. Wednesday morning, probably more on the dry side. I think the real rain starts to come in by about lunchtime Wednesday, so noon or 1 p.m. There's 1 o'clock there, and you can see a couple of areas of heavier rain, maybe some thunderstorms with some gusty wind. This continues into the evening as well. So here's 4 p.m. Wednesday, and where you see those brighter colors, the yellows and reds, that's where we're talking about heavy thunderstorms, maybe some high wind gusts, possibly even some small hail, and of course some heavy rain that could lead to some flooding on the roadways. So that continues through the evening commute on Wednesday. And then as we get closer to sunset, which is now about 7 p.m., we'll start to see some of those showers clear out of the Mid-South, and things will turn a lot more dry by Wednesday night and especially by Thursday morning. So again, we're looking at a time period here from about 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Wednesday that we're going to have some heavy rain, possibly some strong to severe storms. This is the latest severe weather outlook for Wednesday. It's a level 2 out of 5. So that's exactly what we saw on Saturday. It is a low threat, but it is a threat nonetheless. I don't think every storm is severe, but a couple could definitely pack a bit of a punch. I want to show you the storm energy for Wednesday. What this is also taking into account, not only the juice that the storms need, but the amount of spin in the atmosphere, and that is the spin that's needed for tornadoes. So we're kind of combining in the juice that the storms needed to develop and the spin that they would need to produce tornadoes. Now you can see there is definitely some juice in here. We get to noon or 1 o'clock. There's a couple of blips in there where maybe the juice gets a little bit higher, but this is not off the charts by any means. This is still on the lower end of the scale, and that's why our severe weather threat is overall pretty low on Wednesday. Now, just because it's low doesn't mean it's zero. We have just enough juice, like we saw Saturday, like we saw today, that a couple of storms could definitely be a little bit stronger before that storm energy clears out by Wednesday evening and Wednesday night. So much like Saturday, biggest concerns would be some heavy rain. It's going to disrupt your plans. Wednesday evening is also going to slow down your commute home as well. We could have some high wind gusts. I wouldn't be surprised along that line of storms that rolls in to see 50 to 60 mile an hour winds. Also the potential of some hail. I don't think it's a big concern, but there could be a couple of storms that produce some small hail. Much like what we've seen the last few days, the tornado threat is minimal. It is a low risk of tornadoes. This is not the typical setup that we would look for tornado development in necessarily. But like we've seen the last couple of days, like today and on Saturday, we did get one tornado warning each of those days. So while the tornado threat is very, very low, we can never completely rule one out. Now, we didn't have any reports of touchdowns over the weekend, but we did at least have that one warning. Still a very nasty weather day today and this past weekend. Perfect time to bring in meteorologist Kit Thomas over at the Weather Wall. Kit, as we look back, even Friday night we had some thunderstorms rolling in, and then a pretty messy start to Saturday with that line of thunderstorms that rolled in. Kit's got some pictures there to show us.
Yeah, we had some pretty impressive hail on Friday night. This is from our friends at the North Mississippi Storm Chasers and Spotters. You can see some incredibly large hail. This one is nothing to really reference, but it looks like it's probably about 2 inches across, so a very large hailstone. And once we get into the larger hailstones, they tend to get a little spiky, just where a little bit of a protrusion that knocks into more rain droplets, so it gets a little bit of a hail spike on there as well. This one is a really good report. If you ever do find hail, grab a coin, grab something that's of standard reference, like a coin, like a ping pong or golf ball, something like that, and put it next to it, because here we can see this is very easily ping pong ball sized hail, about 1.5 inches across, maybe up to 1.75 inches, which would be golf ball sized hail. So awesome pictures out there, but of course that could be damaging hail. But here's an update from last week. We were talking about the rain had been a pretty big drought lately. We've actually seen a lot of rain today, estimated by radar about 3.5 inches over the Oxford area in the last 7 days. About 1.5 inches here in Memphis. Today, the almanac said we had a little over 2/3 of an inch of rain, so most of that has come in through the day today. We haven't seen a lot off towards eastern or western parts of Tennessee, but we could see more over the next couple of days here as we go through the next 7 days. We've got heavy rain across Arkansas. This model actually sort of splitting it around our area. We're on the lower end of this, but looks like some very heavy rain, especially with what's coming tonight across central Alabama. They're getting some very heavy rainfall. Coming up a little bit later, we'll take a look at some other severe weather reports we've seen around the country, but for now, I'll send it back over to Trevor.
Yeah, Kit, that map giving us kind of the Memphis weather bubble rumor. People say there's a little shield over Memphis. That certainly goes into it. We are going to get some heavy rain, though, especially on Wednesday. Tonight, though, things are looking much better as we look live outside over downtown. Temperatures check it in at a pretty comfortable 67. It is very humid right now, though, once that rain has cleared out. Dew point 63. That's when you start to feel some of those muggies. Could even have a little bit of fog developing over the next few hours with how saturated that ground is. Now, again, radar is pretty clear. There's a couple of sprinkles still on the radar, not far from Oxford, just east of there, not far from Como, a little quick sprinkle, and then some sprinkles in Jackson, Tennessee. But most of us have dried out. Now, when you put the radar on a loop, you can see those thunderstorms moving out of the area. We were particularly watching one near Oxford a little bit ago. It produced some very, very heavy rain, some high wind gusts, and it actually prompted a tornado warning as that storm moved out of Lafayette County. So if you were in Lafayette County, you might have heard, some sirens going off or the weather alert going off. Really, that storm had already moved into Pontotoc County at that point, but when they issued the warning, they did include part of Lafayette County. So just as it was crossing over along Highway 278 into Pontotoc County, that's when that storm did trigger a tornado warning. Again, no reports of any touchdown, but certainly a strong storm there. And then more recently, that storm is down just past through Monroe County, Mississippi, near Amory, and was producing golf ball sized hail, now moving into western Alabama out near Vernon. Overnight tonight, we're pretty dry. Again, I can't rule out a sprinkle, but most of us looking pretty good. Shower or two possible. We'll stay mostly cloudy, and those clouds will kind of insulate us, almost acting like a blanket. It doesn't allow much heat to escape up to the atmosphere, so it's going to keep us a little more mild. In fact, temperatures hover in the 60s tonight. 66 in Memphis, 63 Covington. We'll get to 60 in Corinth, 66 in Forest City. And again, wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of fog developing as we go into the overnight hours. Tomorrow, a much nicer day than today. Rain chance is very low, maybe a quick shower for somebody, but overall most of us are dry. It will be pretty cloudy tomorrow, though, maybe a few peaks of sunshine at times. That'll get us up to about 80 degrees with a warm southerly breeze. And yes, sunrise and sunset times are now an hour later that we have sprung forward. Hopefully you're not still tired from that hour that we lost of sleep. Sunrise now officially 7:19 in the morning. Sunset not until 7:03. So we did gain a little extra daylight in the evenings, but It's darker a little later in the morning, so that's the price we pay. 79 your high temperature for tomorrow. Again, a very slight chance of a shower. Most of us dry. Weather impact alert Wednesday afternoon and evening. Some heavy thunderstorms. Severe weather risk is low, but could be some gusty wind and thunder and lightning. And then look how much cooler we get Thursday, the coolest day we've had in a minute. 59 degrees with sunshine on Thursday. So again, weather impact alert Wednesday afternoon and evening. Storms could be strong to severe, but we are clearing out for the end of the week. I do want to invite you to join us on our streaming app. That is ABC 24 on your phone or ABC 24 Plus on your smart TV. If you take out your phone's camera and you scan that QR code there, that's going to take you to download our app, either for your smart TV or for your phone. And we have the live radar there 24/7 that you can constantly see what's going on. And of course, we also provide extended weather coverage through the day today. Meteorologist Kit Thomas and meteorologist Daniel McDonald were on for most of the day today, tracking those storms. So if you do want extended weather coverage, more than you might get on TV, scan that code. It'll take you over to the ABC 24 Plus app. You can also just search it on your app store. So again, tomorrow looks good. Slight chance of a sprinkle, high of 79. A weather impact alert Wednesday. That's a day to keep an eye on the forecast. Heavy showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening. We do get briefly cooler Thursday. High of only 59 degrees. And then temperatures climb Friday and Saturday. I know it's St. Patrick's Day. A lot of people are going to be doing stuff this weekend. Looks good. 70 on Friday, 76 on Saturday. We are going to watch Sunday, though. I think we have another little weak disturbance that comes through. Doesn't look like anything severe or stormy necessarily, but there could be a few showers Sunday evening and Sunday night, and that's going to cool us down even more. 39 Monday morning and a high of 53 Monday afternoon. All right, that's a check of your local forecast. We have a lot more to come on ABC 24 Weather Impact Now, including a check of your regional outlook and a check-in with the ABC 24 Weather Watchers. We're back after this. Don't go away.